Hey, Hunter. What time are you going to be home? Did you get asked to work overtime or something? I thought you were going to be home by 6:30 tonight.
Oh, sorry, Shannon. I completely forgot to message you. I was eating dinner with Harriet, my childhood friend.
Oh, you're with Harriet. Is she back in town visiting her parents? You never mentioned anything.
Well, she's not visiting. It's more like she's gonna be back in town permanently.
Huh? You're not being very clear.
She's gonna be living here from now on. She's got an apartment further out.
So you mean that she's moved here with her husband?
No, she got a divorce.
Oh, really? That's surprising. I still remember the post she uploaded on Christmas Day, with the picture of her and her husband. You know, the one you showed me. They looked so happy together, so I never imagined that they would get divorced this suddenly. You said that Harriet and her husband were spending Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at a luxury hotel, and showed me. How much did you say it was for one night there? Like $2,000 or something? And now they're divorced?
Yeah, well, they must have their reasons. In the beginning, Harriet was always telling me how he was super rich and a really sweet guy, but apparently he began showing his true colors a few months into their marriage, and he would be really harsh on her when no one was around. Her Instagram was just a facade.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, I guess there are a lot of things you don't know about a person until you get married. People don't show their unflattering side until they're living together, and there's no way of hiding it from their loved ones.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. There are plenty of people out there who act like really good people when they're with friends, but are a menace when they're at home. I've met Harriet's ex-husband before, but he really did seem like a gentleman. He was calm, collected, and always really polite. But when I spoke to Harriet, she would tell me the complete opposite. Apparently, he would shout at her for the smallest mistakes, and he would even get violent if she didn't do as she was told.
What? So he was abusing her? I can't believe it. I'm not surprised she would want to divorce him and come back to live in the same town as her parents. It's a good thing she got away from him. Is she doing okay? She's not seriously hurt, is she?
She told me that there were a few times when she had to go to the hospital. But she's fine now. She's just glad to be away from him. But all of those complicated circumstances led to the divorce being dragged out, so it seems she's pretty tired. She told me that she didn't really want to go to that hotel for Christmas, but that he pretty much threatened her to go with him. She had been sharing the perfect side of her married life on social media, so when they started having problems, she really agonized over whether she should continue posting stuff. She wanted to tell everyone the truth about what her ex-husband was really like, but I guess it was hard for her since everyone assumed that she was so happy and in love like you did. That, plus her ex, put a lot of pressure on her to keep updating her social media so that he wouldn't look bad. Can you believe the guy?
Yeah, that must have been hard for her. A lot of people on social media end up getting biased and start to think that everything they see on social media is everything in real life too. Especially since Harriet has so many followers. She must have felt that they wouldn't believe her because of all her previous posts.
Yeah, even I assumed that she was happy too, but I was completely wrong. I couldn't help but feel stupid for believing everything on her account. I was shocked when she told me the truth about her marriage and the way it fell apart. Anyway, that's why I'm gonna be late tonight. It sounds like she's got a lot of pent-up frustration, and I've got to help her let it all loose.
All right, give her my best. But next time, please make sure you message me before you go out, so I don't have to make your dinner.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I almost forgot, you had a health checkup today, right? Was the baby okay? Is there anything we should be worried about?
No, there was nothing wrong. It looks like everything's going pretty smoothly this time. I'm more worried about Nora because she seems to be regressing lately. It's probably because my stomach's gotten a lot bigger, and I can't run around with her as much as before. But whenever she comes home from kindergarten, she's stuck to me like glue and wants me to stay focused on her. Today when we were having dinner, she asked me to feed her and wanted to be carried to the couch to watch TV.
She must have missed being with you when you were sick in bed a couple of weeks ago. I told her that Mommy needed rest whenever she tried to get into our bedroom, so that might be a factor too.
Yeah, we've got to make sure to give her enough attention, even after the baby's born. I don't want her feeling like she's not loved anymore because her new brother or sister is here. Do you think you could spend more time with her on your days off? I think Nora would really like to spend some time with you too.
Yeah, sure, I will. You can go ahead and sleep. Don't wait up for me. I think I'll be pretty late.
Okay. Just be careful you don't drink too much, okay? Hunter, I thought that you said you were going to be home for lunch. Where are you? It's already 2 o'clock. Hurry up and come back home.
Oh, sorry. I was helping Harriet make the TV stand and some other furniture for her new apartment. I didn't realize that it was already past noon.
You were at Harriet's place? Again? I thought she was done moving in. It's already been a month, hasn't it?
Yeah, she's got everything moved in, but there's still a lot to do. She hasn't had the time to put together any of her furniture, so I've been helping her whenever I have some time.
But you went to help her on your day off last week as well. Did you really have to go and help her today? I feel like she's relying on you too much.
What, am I just supposed to ignore her when she needs my help? She doesn't have any other guy friends, she's only got me to rely on. She's always been really cute, so she gets a lot of attention from weirdos and creeps, you know? They don't really want to be friends with her, they just want to take advantage of her. I'm the only guy around that she can trust and ask to help with things like this. I can't just turn her down, we've known each other since elementary school.
Why can't she just ask her parents for help?
Shannon, she just got divorced. They're not really happy with her for screwing up what they thought was a perfect marriage and didn't expect her to come back to town like this. Of course, she doesn't want to ask them for help. That's why she avoided moving back in with her parents and is living in an apartment on her own. She's pretty lonely right now. I'm just being supportive.
Even so, she's got to manage if she decided to live on her own. We need you at home too, you know. A lot more than Harriet needs you. You do realize that I'm due to give birth in the next few weeks or so, don't you? I'd be really grateful if you could help out with the housework at home, especially since I can't move around so much. And most importantly, you promised Nora that you'd take her out to play at the park, remember? She's really upset that you're not here yet.
But I think that we'll need about an hour more to finish things off.
Hunter, I think you're getting your priorities in the wrong order.
What? I'm always putting my family first. But right now, Harriet needs me too. It's just a one-off. I'll help at home when I'm done with helping Harriet. She doesn't have anyone to lean on right now, so she's got it pretty tough. I've got to help her.
Are you trying to say that I don't have it tough?
Yeah, but you've got me. Harriet really doesn't have anyone else to turn to. I'm the only one that can help her with all this DIY stuff.
No, I don't have you. You're never here. I understand being busy with work, but you're not here on your days off either. The moment Harriet summons you, you're gone, and I'm left picking up the pieces at home. That's why I'm saying that you're getting your priorities in the wrong order. I understand that Harriet's a childhood friend, and that she's really important to you. I don't want to say that you shouldn't be there for her at all. That's why I've never complained up until now. But these past few weeks have been really difficult for me and Nora because you're not here. I think that this has gone too far, Hunter.
It won't be like this forever, Shannon. Can't you just be a little patient? You should understand that people want a little support when they're suffering mentally.
But is it your job to support every aspect of Harriet's life and throw your obligations at home out of the window? And if you're going to say that, then I don't deserve some support, then I can't move around because my stomach's so big. I can't do anything on my own, and yet you're going to choose helping Harriet over me? Harriet may be having a hard time, but don't you think that you should be prioritizing us over her?
Shannon, you're pretty cold, aren't you?
What?
I think it's pretty normal to want to help a friend when they're in need or if they feel depressed about some things that have happened in their life.
Yeah, of course. Why are you talking like I'm incapable of sympathizing with people who are going through some ups and downs in their lives? What I'm saying right now is that even though your childhood friend is having trouble in her private life, you have a responsibility towards your family. Me, your wife, and towards your children. If I were in your shoes, I would do what I can to help my friend, but I wouldn't sacrifice being with my family to support them. And I think that my friend would and should understand that, since I'm married and have 2 children.
Ouch! I'm lucky I'm not your childhood friend.
My childhood friends don't rely on other people for every obstacle that stands in their way. They do everything they can, and then ask for help.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to say that Harriet can't do anything on her own? Why do you have to be so harsh on her?
Why are you getting upset?
Whatever, I'm coming home now. Are you happy?
Yeah, thank you. Nora's been waiting for you since lunchtime. Can you do something to make it up to her? Like take her to eat some ice cream or something? She's really upset.
For crying out loud, why do I have to be told what to do and what not to do? It's my day off, isn't it? Can't you give me a break?
We started this family together. I thought that we got married with the understanding that there would be some sacrifices. We have children. So maybe it's not always easy to get what you want, Hunter. Nora's still a child. She has her own wants and needs, and we have a duty to fulfill those. I can't move around so much because, if you didn't notice, I'm pregnant. It would help me out a lot if you could play with her so that she doesn't feel forgotten. And I want you to stop going to Harriet's place from next week.
What? Why not?
It's almost my due date.
You're due to give birth the week after next, not next week.
It doesn't mean that there isn't a possibility that I could give birth next week, or even this week. A due date is just a prediction. I've been getting a lot of cramps recently, so it's possible that the baby could come a little sooner than the due date too. It would help if you were here more often because we don't know when we might have to go up to the hospital.
Yeah, all right. If you want me to be at home, then I'll be there. Happy?
Yeah, please. I'll get Nora ready to go out. You'll be on your way, won't you?
Yeah. Okay, I'll be back in half an hour or so. Just wait a little longer. Shannon, I'm sorry. I'm on my way home now. You won't believe how much of a mess Harriet's house was in. It was dripping wet. It was just like I predicted. She had a leak in her apartment because her laundry machine was clogged. I cleaned it up and got it working again.
Oh, really? Good for her.
Oh, come on, don't get pissed off. What was I supposed to do? It was an emergency. Her apartment was literally flooding with water. It took us ages to get everything cleaned up and dry the floor. I didn't think it would take so long, but I couldn't just make her wipe it up all by herself.
Well, I had a hard time too, while you were gone. After you left, I checked Nora's temperature, and she had a high fever, just like I told you. I was already having a hard time standing because of my cramps, and yet you left me to deal with Nora on my own. You went and saved the day at Harriet's, but you were no help here. You said that you'd be right back, but I waited hours and hours, and you're still not home. You left the house before 6, and now you're finally messaging me to let me know you'll be coming home? You're kidding, right?
I told you it took us a long time to clean all the water up. I'm sorry I left you and Nora on your own, but I'm coming back now. Everything's fine.
You're not really sorry. If you felt bad about leaving us, you wouldn't have left the house in the first place.
Of course I feel bad. Don't say that. I just couldn't ignore Harriet because she's a childhood friend. She asked me for help, so how could I tell her that she'd have to find someone else to help her? My body just moved before I could even think about it. I guess it's become a habit for me to jump to her help whenever she sends an SOS. If anything, I'm like a hero, don't you think? It's not that often that she asks for my help, so don't get so mad about it. It's not good for the baby if you get that stressed out. Relax, Shannon, relax.
Not that often. You really think so? How many times has she called you out of the house for something trivial this past month? I asked you a week ago to stop visiting Harriet because I wanted you to be at home as much as possible until my due date, and yet you've been going to her place almost every single day. Is she really that incapable of doing anything on her own? She's the same age as us, isn't she? Can't she figure things out on her own?
Come on, why do you have to be so mean to her? She doesn't have anyone else to turn to. Anyway, how's Nora doing? Does she feel better than she did before I left? You said that she had a fever after I left, but it's probably gone down by now, right?
She's not here anymore.
What? What do you mean? Then where is she?
She had a really high fever, so I called her an ambulance. She's at the hospital.
What?
I finally figured out that you don't care about your feverish daughter as much as you care about your childhood friend, so I didn't bother to let you know. I'm not going to expect anything from you anymore. I finally understand that it's just a waste of time telling you why I'm so frustrated with you. I'm tired of dealing with you, so goodbye, Hunter.
Shannon, wait, what are you talking about? What happened to Nora? I really am sorry. I'll come back home right now.
No, it's too late. You're not the father Nora needs you to be. From now on, you can do whatever you like with your time, so why don't you start living with your precious childhood friend? You don't have to come home. You're not welcome here anymore.
Shannon, I'm really sorry. My parents were both really pissed off with me for not being there for you and Nora. I got shouted at for hours and hours. I've realized how much of an idiot I was being, so please, can I meet the baby? I want to apologize to you for everything I've done up until now.
I'm not changing my mind, Hunter. I already told you it's too late. That also includes apologies.
Come on, give me another chance. It's not too late for me to change, is it? You've already given birth, right? I heard from my parents. Can't I go and meet them? I haven't even heard if it's a boy or girl. Are you really going to raise them all on your own without letting me meet them?
That day I told you that I thought I was getting contractions. I told you, didn't I? Nora had a fever and she wasn't feeling well. I was so worried about her and about the baby. And yet you still made the decision to ignore Nora and went over to Harriet's place instead to help her work out what was wrong with her laundry machine. Do you really think that I can forgive you that easily?
I'm sorry. I just got really worried about Harriet because she was panicking about the leak and about the laundry machine not working. I was planning on coming straight home. I swear I didn't realize I was taking so long.
You really thought that it wouldn't take that long? You said yourself that it takes a 30-minute drive to get there. It would have taken you a full hour just to go there and back. You're not a neighbor, so why did you have to go and help her? She could have just called for a plumber. Why did she have to call for you?
Yeah, I know, she just always comes to me when she needs help with something. She's always been sheltered by her parents, so she can't get things done without asking someone for help.
But that's not a good enough reason for you to prioritize your childhood friend over your own family, is it? No matter how you look at it, Nora was in a more dangerous situation than Harriet. What an idiot. I'm starting to feel stupid from having to explain the reasoning to you. Anyway, we have no need of a husband or a father that's going to abandon us for a childhood friend when we really need him. You're not welcome in my house, and I'm not going to let you meet the baby either. After you left that night, the real contractions started coming, and thankfully, I could bear it with a little better because it was my second birth, but Nora's temperature just went up, and she started being sick. If your mom wasn't available to pick up the phone and hear my SOS signal while you were off at Harriet's, we don't know what might have happened. Something could have happened to Nora, and I might have been late getting to the hospital. There could have been complications with the delivery. Do you even understand that?
I'm really sorry. I do understand. I really do. My mom hit me for not being there. And you really scared me when you said that Nora wasn't here anymore. I realized just how stupid I was being. I panicked because I thought you meant that Nora was gone, as in died. I'm glad that you really meant that she wasn't at home and that she was at the hospital, but I don't ever want to experience anything like that ever again. I don't think I could handle that. I can't lose you guys.
But it was a possibility. The moment you walked out that door and left me to deal with Nora on my own, you made that possibility much bigger. You should consider that we were pretty lucky this time. Children are a lot more fragile than you think. I told you that if you had the time to go to Harriet's house, you should take Nora to the hospital, remember? I told you that I could call an ambulance for myself, but that someone needed to go with Nora to the hospital. But you just brushed me off and said that she'd be fine. You made an ignorant decision and left her behind to go to your friend's house. It was your fault.
I know. I did something terrible to Nora, and I feel just as terrible about it.
No, you don't. I'm telling you all of this because I know that you don't understand how serious this all is. Do you want to know why? I know because I checked Harriet's Instagram and saw that you had been enjoying Hot Pot on the night that she called you over to help her with her laundry machine. You were off having fun while your daughter was suffering from a fever and while I was bearing with my contractions. And you even went out to have dinner with her the next night, after I'd finally given birth to our baby, after hours of labor. It didn't even seem to bother you that you couldn't get in touch with me. Seriously, the nerve you had to go out like that when Nora and I were in the hospital.
It's not what you think. Harriet invited me out for dinner to cheer me up because you told me not to come home. I was really depressed and I just didn't know what to do. Harriet felt really bad too. She said that she shouldn't have relied on me as much as she did.
Oh, is that so? Do you really believe that? She looks like she's having a lot of fun regardless of what happened to our family.
Hey, you're the one that said that we shouldn't believe everything we see on people's social media. I don't think it's smart to assume something like that from her posts.
She's got a lot of followers, doesn't she? She was posting a lot of photos bragging about having a super rich husband and leading the glamorous celebrity life. She had a lot of haters because of how much she was boasting about her life, and I actually found something interesting on a thread set up by some of those haters.
Yeah, she mentioned something like that. She was really frustrated about it, but she wouldn't tell me what it was about.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't know if it's true or not, but it seems that Harriet was having an affair. And that's the reason why her husband demanded a divorce. You told me that she was the one that filed for a divorce because of his abuse. But I wonder which is actually true.
What?
Yeah, apparently she was cheating on him with several men at the same time. I read that from a post on her ex-husband's Instagram. I guess he must have wanted to post his side of the story after she made all those claims about him being abusive, domineering, and violent.
You're kidding. There's no way Harriet would lie to me. She would never.
Then feel free to continue believing her. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised if she really was sleeping with all those men. I mean, she had the nerve to call you over to her house so many times. You may be her childhood friend, but you're also married and a dad. If she has no problem with seducing you, then I doubt she would feel guilty about sleeping with multiple men at the same time. If anything, judging by the post she uploaded of you having dinner together when we were in the middle of arguing about you visiting her so much, she's probably enjoying stirring other people's relationships up. She's got a questionable personality to upload something like that. It was like she was showing off that she had got you on her side.
Harriet didn't mean anything by that post. You're reading into it too much, I think. She's just too naive.
Naive? She's in her 30s, just like we are. She married a rich husband, and behind the scenes of her lavish lifestyle, she was sleeping with several other men. And you think that she was naive? From where I'm standing, you're a lot more naive than she was. Let me give you a heads up. Your childhood friend isn't capable of doing all those DIY things by herself. She didn't want to do it by herself because she was lazy, so she was batting her eyelids and getting other people to do it for her. Do you understand? She was taking advantage of you.
Whatever, let's forget about Harriet for now. Right now I want to talk about our future. That's more important than talking about me and Harriet.
I told you, I want a divorce. I've made my mind up.
Yeah, but I don't want to get divorced. You, Nora, and the baby are all really important to me. I can't lose any of you. Are you really going to deny me the chance to meet our new baby?
And I can't trust you anymore. No matter what you say, I can't believe a word that comes out of your mouth. Do you know how many times I felt betrayed by you over the past year?
I'm really sorry, but I don't want to get divorced. From now on, I'll work hard to take care of you all. I promise I won't ever make you feel that way ever again.
Can I really rely on you? When it's already become a reflex for you to go and help Harriet when she calls for you? You said it yourself, that your body moves before you even think about it. I asked you. I begged you to stay at home for the 2 weeks until my due date, and you broke that promise within a matter of hours.
I know. I'm sorry. I understand how hard that must have been for you. But I won't do it again. I won't go to Harriet's even if she calls me. I won't go anywhere else.
I really wish you would have said that sooner. And you don't understand the half of it. You have no idea how frustrated, how pathetic, and how furious I felt when my contractions started and you were already on your way to Harriet's. I never thought that I would have such a difficult time giving birth to our second child. It must have been so hard for Nora, too. If I wasn't in so much pain myself, I probably could have taken her to the hospital much sooner, but I couldn't even move. She must have been so scared because I couldn't even stand up, and because you weren't even around to help us. I don't ever want to experience anything like that ever again. That's why I'm going to divorce you. I'm not wasting my time or my feelings on a man like you.
I'm sorry, Shannon. I'm really sorry. It was completely my fault. I shouldn't have been so irresponsible. I won't ever let you down, ever again. From now on, I'll focus just on our family, and I'll do what has to be done for us.
I'm not going to forgive you. I don't think I'll ever be able to forget what you did, and I think I'll despise you for the rest of my life. I can't live with you anymore. Even if you have learned from your mistakes, I can't trust you. So you can go ahead and do whatever you want from now on. I hope you live happily ever after with your childhood friend. After that, my husband kept on messaging me to tell me that he didn't want to get divorced, but for a while I just ignored him and went about my own life. My mother-in-law, who had been taking care of Nora while I was giving birth, came to check up on me and the baby whenever she could. She assured me that I had done the right thing by divorcing him when I could because, as she put it, you're never going to be able to forget what he did and didn't do in the days before and after you give birth. She even made sure that I wouldn't be bothered by Hunter until I was discharged from the hospital. After I recovered from the birth, my parents, my in-laws, and Hunter and I all gathered to talk about our divorce and our children's future. In the end, we finalized the divorce a few days ago. Of course, I thought about the possibility of starting over with him because I had just given birth to our second child, but I couldn't bring myself to forgive him. It seems that the divorce had been a real shock for him because he stopped meeting with Harriet after that. And once he realized that Hunter wasn't as easy to use as he was before, Harriet began calling her other friends and had them do the cleaning and the repairs for her. But it seems that her new slave was a married man too, because it looks like she was at the center of another couple's clash. Not only that, a lot of rumors and revelations came to light, and she also ended up in the middle of a media firestorm. As a result, all of her accounts disappeared, and I didn't hear about her ever again. When he found out the truth about Harriet, my husband became a hater himself and is constantly criticizing her and complaining about how he was a victim whenever it's time for him to visit the kids. To be honest, I just think that it's disgusting that he thinks that he can complain about what she did to him. It seems that Hunter is still hoping that we can get back together someday, but I have no intention of letting him try. As far as I'm concerned, he only exists to pay me child support. He's been doing a lot for the children ever since we separated, so I can't force them to be on my side. But I can't wait until they're both adults and I can finally cut him out of my life. I don't regret divorcing him at all, so I'm just focusing on living for my children and making sure that they're happy and safe. Because of my decision to divorce Hunter, my children have to spend most of their time away from their dad, so I've been working together with my parents and my in-laws to make sure that they don't feel lonely. I want to do whatever I can to raise them to be good, considerate adults, and create a home that's filled with love, not with resentment and distrust.